everybody, I'm Joey Port and I'm an indie author and welcome back to my channel. Today is October 1st, which means it's the start of Preptober, and since I'm a planter, I thought I would do some tips on prepping for NaNo for planters. So I have 5 tips and I'm just going to go through them all now. Number 1, decide on project. The big thing here is deciding what you're going to work on. If, like me, you already have something in mind or are already working on a project, you can just stick to that. I know the rules of NaNo say that you should start a brand new project, but I write all year round and I can't just start new ones just because it's NaNo. As it so happens, I am starting a new project because both of my current ones will be done by the end of October, so for this will be the first time I've not been a bit of a rebel, in that regard anyway. So if you've decided on your project, whether that's in most cases or more in mine, then you can move on to the next step. Number 2, decide on your level of planning. Now, I'm more of a pantser when I'm drafting, but I find if I don't have some kind of plan, then I will get writer's block and not dig myself out of it. So I go for a simple chapter plan where I've got every chapter number, a few words of what should happen, and along the side, days of the week, it'll be how long it's since it started, etc. And doing those takes me a couple of hours, depending on how deeply thought out the ideas are. So I'll be working both on the third Penny notebook and the second Abby Delaney book. Both are considered urban fantasy and both are YA with a lot of world building. So some of that planning is deciding on the main plot or working out how they will service the overarching plot of the trilogy or series that they're part of. And then when I've done that, I simply sit down, do my chapter plan and character notes, and boom, I'm done with planning. Number 3, set your goal or word count. Now, for the last couple of NaNos, I've set my word count as below the usual 50k simply because I've had other things going on and I couldn't commit to doing enough chapters that I knew I would reach 50k. I wasn't going to just try and pad the word count, so I set my goal lower. But since I'm starting on 2 new projects, I will be doing 24 chapters, which 99% of the time ends up as over 50k. So if I'm going for that, 12 chapters of both books, and I'm setting myself up for success. If you don't feel like you can hit 50k, be a rebel and set a lower goal. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Last NaNo, I knew I couldn't reach 50k, but then I got caught up in the hype and ended up writing 32 chapters and over 80k. This year, I'm not doing that. It's just not going to happen because I was so burned out when I did it last time. And so I'll be doing the 50k and you decide what you can manage. And make sure you give yourself some wiggle room. Like, I know you have to write 1,667 words a day to hit 50k, but I still sprinkle in days off in there because otherwise you burn out quicker. Number 4, do research if needed. This is one that I don't think planter or pantser think about too much. I know there's a trick of leaving brackets in the manuscript so that you can move on, and if that works for you, great. It doesn't work for me. It just gets under my skin and I can't. So I try and do some of the research I'll need before I start writing. That way I have it all in a folder that I can pull out and I can keep writing. In cases where I come across something I've not researched completely, I'll write down what I think is right and then research and fix in revisions. I really don't love the mic. Because the point of NaNo is just to get some, and I say some because novels are longer than 50k, of your story onto the page, and the next step can be where you fix mistakes. But to avoid too much time revising, if you know there's something you need to research, go ahead and do that now other than waiting for November. And number 5, countdown to November 1st. And now you're all ready to start writing come November 1st. You've got the plan you need, you've got your idea, you've done your research, you know your goal, and boom. All that's left is to write the words and cheer each other on. So have an amazing Preptober and a great NaNoWriMo. I know that I will be right there alongside you all, happy to see the progress you have made. And that just one last caveat. Sometimes you don't hit your goal, and that's okay. Sometimes life gets in the way, and just remember that progress is not something to be sniffed at. You haven't failed, you've done something huge, you've taken those first steps, and that counts for something. So there we go, those are my 5 tips for planters in prepping for NaNo. What is your go-to tip for prepping for NaNo? Are you doing NaNo this year? And if you are, please let me know in the comments down below. Personally, like I said, I'll be working on 2 projects, and I know that I will most likely hit 50k, or maybe just a bit over 50k, depending on how long those chapters are. But I work best to that kind of goal. I don't really like to focus on how many words I'm getting per day, though I do during NaNo, but my brain doesn't work like that. Like, I don't go to the 1,667 a day because I don't write every day, and that's just the way it works for me. There we go, that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like, or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. And don't forget to pre-order Cramming Chronicles The First Twinge, and if you do pre-order, don't forget to grab the swag. All the links for which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye!